Massive lawn renovation in progress here, and by the end of this video, it's going to be all done. So let's get the job done. Yes, g'day and welcome to a new video. Full scale renovation in progress here. I have scalped to cut away the excess top growth. I have scarified to remove some thatch. In that process, if you watch my last two videos, you'll know that I've been trialing different things, been trying different pieces of equipment. My utility mower sort of let me down a little bit, but I've been really trying to rip through this with those different pieces of machinery, trying to find the best method, because on this size yard, I really want to try and optimize every little bit that I can. So I've gotten all that done, aerated, which is one of the most important steps for me on this back lawn, because the biggest thing that I'm trying to improve is my drainage. I've got a bit of a clay base under here, some really nice soil, but clay underneath there. So trying to improve the drainage. Aeration is a massively important part of that, and it's a part of the renovation process that can be the most painful. You know, picking up the equipment, it's big heavy equipment, all that sort of stuff, but it does have huge benefits. If you can get it done, I highly recommend it. And the main focus of this video is going to be top dressing. So I'll talk about what I'm top dressing with and some other bits and pieces to do with top dressing. But the first thing that I'm going to get done now is apply some products. Now, some people feel very strongly when it comes to applying products during your lawn renovation and when it should be done. You're obviously not going to do it before you scalp, before you scarify, before you aerate. So that leaves before or after top dressing. Now, some people really prefer doing it after they top dress. I personally really like the idea of doing your aeration and then spreading or spraying any products in between then before you top dress. Especially if it's a granular fertilizer that you might be using during your lawn renovation. It gets it right down into those core holes, gets those nutrients nice and deep. It's probably to a lesser extent important with spraying, but for me, I don't want to come out here and level this lawn beautifully and then walk over it back and forth with the wheels of my sprayer and footprints when I've just done a meticulous job of getting it beautiful and level. That just doesn't make sense to me. So what I'm spraying today is a really important lawn renovation product, which is a wetting agent, which is just going to help the soil to absorb water really well. If you've got typically past summers, you've had really dry, cracked, terrible soil. Firstly, one thing you probably want to do is get some organic matter into there. You do want to aerate that when possible. And the other thing you want to do is get wetting agent into there. If you can do a half rate every 2 or 3 weeks of wetting agent onto a really struggling, crappy area, especially as the weather warms up, it's going to really help the soil to absorb water, help the root system, blah, blah, blah. It's a great product. So that is something that I would definitely recommend for you. And with the recovery watering that I will be doing, I want to maximize that in the soil. So first wetting agent application of the season, I used granular fertilizer about 5 or 6 weeks ago. So I'm in the middle of applications. I'll apply granular fertilizer again in 4 or 5 weeks from now. So about 10-ish weeks between applications. And the other 2 products I'm getting out is a potassium product, because I've got a slight deficiency in the soil. I've also got a slight deficiency in magnesium. So I know those from my soil tests that I got done start of last month. So got those couple of products, gonna get those in there and I'm gonna spray those out and then water it in. Just a quick job for this morning, and then tomorrow we top dress. So let's get this spray done first. All right, welcome back. Welcome back for top dressing day. Yesterday, in the end, did not go to plan spraying out my products. My walk behind sprayer was not working. So in the end, I had to undo the cap at the bottom, siphon it out into a bucket, pour it into my backpack sprayer, and then walk across the lawn. Not ideal, absolutely not ideal. And then today, as you can see, it is a beautiful day for top dressing. Absolutely beautiful day. So this reno, yeah, I don't know. It's not going exactly to plan, but we're pushing through and we're gonna get the result. So there actually has been a really big green up. So here, especially if you watch the last video, there's heaps of shoots of green here, which is really, really great. Over the back here, it looks like, yeah, the areas, especially where I couldn't really scalp as hard as I wanted to, I didn't have the time for. Watch those videos if you haven't. Yeah, anyway, which is fine, because if you do leave a little bit of extra leaf, like with this top dress, I'm going to be lowering the crowns of the plant anyway, by adding that layer of sand. And yeah, it just means by leaving a little bit of extra leaf, more is going to poke out the top when I finish top dressing, which means it's going to recover faster. So it's actually not the end of the world, to be completely honest. Now this top dress that I'm doing, I should also show you, here's a photo of how I'm managing to record this right now. It's not ideal, but top dressing with sand today. And the reason I'm top dressing with wash sand, a lot of people, it's the most frequently asked question when it comes to lawn renovations that I get on social media. Wash sand, sandy loam, soil, what should you use? If you've got really poor soil and you struggle to grow stuff, get some compost on there. When it comes to sandy loam and sand, if it's a really good quality sandy loam, may as well be the same as wash sand, kind of, okay? But you're gonna get really good drainage properties from both, more so from sand than from sandy loam. You might still get some weed seeds come through in your sandy loam. Again, it depends how it's washed, where it comes from, and all that sort of stuff, and what sort of quality product. But for me, wash sand is the go for here, because my pure focus, my levels are quite good out here, but my main focus is drainage for when it's wet, and especially through winter. So the winter we've just had was way better than our first winter in this property, because in that time I had done 2 heavy top dresses. Last season I did 2 full renovations, 2 heavy top dresses for the purposes of having a better winter, and that's what I achieved. So Kennards have only got one of these top dresses in the state, and I've got a mini loader to load it into here as well. If you've got a big top dressing job, even if you just get a loader to put in your wheelbarrow and then you come out and you shovel it from your wheelbarrow to top dress, recommend it from a physical standpoint. Looking back at my gallery from last year, this method took me about 2.5 hours to top dress 500 square meters. That includes all my stuffing around of getting out here, going back, getting the tripod, running out. And so yeah, definitely is a lot quicker. You know, you could probably roughly use the rule of about 250 square meters an hour is how much you can top dress with this and a loader. For me, my situation, not a good machine operator, etc. But the sand that we've got here is a washed sand, and yeah, because it's wet, it's hard to show you exactly what you want, but you do kind of want a sand that will kind of hold a shape, but it will still crumble apart. Some sands you get, they will like clag into a ball, almost more like a clay kind of style, but it's obviously sand. And some sands you get are super, super, super coarse, which is not gonna be great if you're cylinder mowing. So yeah, we want a good balance of those two things. Piece of advice for top dressing: if you can avoid doing it in the wet, do it. But I know someone else is using this top dresser about an hour from me tomorrow, so they need it tomorrow. I've got my sister's wedding tomorrow. Next week I'm hiring machinery, or I've got machinery from Kennards to excavate that area over there, so I can't really put it off. I've got it booked today. I'm gonna get it done today. So I haven't filled the machine, haven't filled up the Eco 250 too heavily because the weight of this sand with the moisture content is gonna be really high. So look, we are just gonna do the best we can. Got to take my youngest son to an appointment in a few hours. So yeah, gonna have to go inside and dry off and get changed, I think, for that before I have to go pick him up, take him, get home, finish it off. Will I get this leveled today as well as top dressed? Not sure, but we'll see how we go. Let's just do it. All things considered, going pretty well here. So I'm just gonna come to the edges here and use this like a bit of a powered wheelbarrow. I've gotten a lot more confident using this machine. This is the 3rd time using it to get to the edges and be able to spit out the sand without tons of it going into the garden beds. but still, yeah, just gonna touch up a couple of areas, like right in this little corner here. How cool that where you are right now, that's gonna be a beautiful planted out garden in about, hopefully 6-ish weeks. But anyway, the weather, we've had 8 or 9 mil. Felt like every time I walked past the rain gauge, it had filled up an extra 0.5 mil or so, which just, yeah, what a day. There's just something about it though. Something about doing stuff in the rain, whether it's kicking the footy or whatever, obviously if it's not freezing cold, but anyway, could be worse. Well, actually, when it comes to top dressing, it couldn't really get worse. So anyway, with this machine, if you're thinking about using one, and you might be, I know what it can be like with machinery, thinking about how does it actually work and stuff. All you've got, you set your speed, which I'm setting it quite high with the sand being this heavy. And then you've just got a lever here to open the trap door at the bottom there where the sand spits out so it's not falling out when you walk from your sand pile. And you've got another lever to make this belt here spin, so that drags the sand forward. You'll see me stopping a lot to pull the sand back because it's getting a lot more clumped up because it's wet. But overall, this machine is fantastic for, yeah, just helping with the top dress. So at the moment, running a leveling rake over here would be a painful exercise. So yeah, it's about an hour and a half until I've got to go and pick up my son. But yeah, hopefully this afternoon, I'd love to just have this reno done and dusted today. That would be my absolute ideal. Yeah, so just use this and go around some perimeters to touch up by hand a couple of spots, and yeah, get it all nicely leveled out. .26 degrees and sunny. This definitely would have been nice weather to top dress. So back 3 days later, and this is my first opportunity to come and level out this top dress. As you see, there's bits all over the place where it's a bit more clumped up, and there's areas where there's a lot of sand sitting there, and there's other parts where it's a little more bare, so I'm aiming to push around some of those piles. Eco 250 did a great job the other day, all things considered. But yeah, still just not quite even all over the place. That was genuinely horrific on Friday. It was kind of fun, to be honest, working in the rain. It's just the fact of moving around cameras, that's what made it difficult. And yeah, in the end for the day on Friday, we had 24 mils, and I think it was somewhere in the vicinity of 12 to 15 of that was while I was actually actively moving around those machines and top dressing. So absolutely not ideal, but it gave the lawn a really good soak in terms of recovery watering. So I'll talk about that probably at the end, but all I've got to do now is come across with this leveling rake. I've talked about it before, but yeah, it's a metre wide, and it really helps to push things around and find the low spots. And so filled up a little bit of sand here, which is something I like to do as well in the leveling process, just when you get to a little spot and you might want to touch something up. So yeah, overall, decent top dress on here. I used about there's probably a bit more sitting out the front. So I probably used nearly 4 cubic meters. So yeah, a bit under 1 cubic meter per 100 square meters. And the reason I need to keep top dressing heavily, even though this lawn is quite level, it's not just about leveling for me now, it's about making a sandier profile. So the more I can aerate and the more washed sand that I can add into this soil, which is a heavy nutrient rich soil, but the more that I can make it sandy, the better when we have massive downpours, it's gonna drain. There you go, it's a very interesting contrast when you stand back and you can see what's been leveled and what's not, and it really, that leveling rake really rubs in nicely the sand into those low spots, into those aeration holes, etc. And yeah, just make sure you get it nice and meticulously level to get the best bang for your buck, which is what I've done multiple times now, which is why for me, you know, fourth heavy top dress on this lawn, and yeah, getting it really bang on in terms of being level. It was kind of some of these crusty spots as I was running the rake through, it's like ripping it out of that spot. So anyway, not the best situation to work with in terms of what I've got on the lawn here, but in terms of pushing it all around, letting it come through, honestly reckon this is going to be ready to mow. You know, this is probably at 10 mil or something like that. By the end of this week, it's going to be at 10 mil or so. Where you're watching from there, excavator's coming in tomorrow. So I'm gonna see how long that takes me, and hopefully, yeah, late in the week. I need to mow the front lawn after that renovation as well. So yeah, anyway, it has been a very interesting renovation out the back here. There's definitely bits of machinery that I wish I had and, you know, could have done with and that sort of thing for this renovation. I wish I could have scalped and scarified it lower. So there was a fair few questions and suggestions and all that sort of thing in the comments on the first video posted a week ago for this renovation. So yeah, hopefully being able to answer most questions as I go. I'll probably let this video be up for a few days and maybe do a bit of a recap on this particular reno, because yeah, it has been an interesting one, but in the end of the day, yeah, I've been able to cut it low, I've been able to aerate and top dress, which are my main concerns anyway. So from that perspective, we'll call it a success. I would anticipate be cylinder mowing this next week. Recovery watering, because we had 24 mils in the end Friday, only 3 days ago, the soil underneath here is so hydrated. So yeah, in terms of the top layer of sand, that's obviously going to dry out and that sort of thing. So I don't know, I might give it a little bit of a sprinkle occasionally, but more so once it's gotten to kind of 5 or 6 days after that big rain event, I'll see what the coverage is like and how, you know, the whole lawn is responding, and then maybe give it a little bit of water and just go by the weather conditions as well. But yeah, once I'm finished today, I definitely won't be watering it, because yeah, definitely plenty of hydration in this soil. So anyway, put your comments and anything else in the comments, and thank you for watching. And yeah, I'll finish this off and I'll catch you in the next one.